been over 2 years since I've been here, so I've been on the sidelines watching those great results and appreciate everyone's hard work. How many of you, we got a lot of senior veterans here, how many of you are rookies? This is your first State of the Company meeting. Are there many? 2 guys in the back, 3 back there. Most of you know the drill. This is our annual profit sharing or State of the Company meeting where we take a moment and we talk about how was last year and what were the goals that we laid out and what's our game plan in the new year, here in 08. And once again, we're focused on service and how we can improve there. And what I think is fun in this year's tape is that we did a snapshot on August 28th of 24 hours from midnight to midnight. And so a lot of the things behind the scenes that you folks do day in and day out are intimately aware, but a lot of folks in our company aren't aware of how many people are working in a support capacity to make this thing work. And so it's about a 30-minute tape, and we'll go through it. And then afterwards, I've got a couple slides on the profit sharing I want to talk about, the 401k. And most importantly, I want to spend some time here today and try to answer any questions that you have. Now, before we run the tape, there is one very, very important announcement or recognition that I need your help to do. So I'd like Robert Brazil to come up. Is he here? Where's Robert? Come on up. Now, I think everyone knows Robert, but what you may not know, it's his birthday today, huh? Come clean. It was these characters that put me into it. And Vicky was the leader of it.
Oh, she always start trouble.
So this is their card for you.
All right.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, so we got the tape ready to go. Let's roll the tape and I'll come right back up.
Thanks, Blake.
All right. Hopefully you like that. Hopefully you got a sense of some of all the activities that take place in a typical day, and you saw hopefully some of your peers or coworkers behind the scenes in the both fulfillment center and distribution center. I think we had someone for like 2 seconds from 89. I don't know who that was. Who was on there?
James.
All right. Thank you. You're famous. So once again, like we talked about last year, was trying to improve our focus and emphasis on selling, because that's how this thing works. We're not going to beat our competition by being better accountants or lawyers. We're going to do it with people and product at point of sale, whether it's online or in the rack or in a full-line store. And so we think we've made some progress along those lines. This multi-channel effort with direct, you saw that online we've had some improvements. The fulfillment center in Cedar Rapids, Iowa is just being completed in the next 30 days, a doubling of the size. It's about 350,000 square feet. It's now about 700. When you add the mezzanine, it's over 800,000 square feet. That building did over $610 million in business last year, and now we think we can double it with this new facility. Part of that facility is a call center, and you saw in the middle of the night some people behind the scenes talking to the customer. We have almost 300 people that are part of that call center 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, answering customers' questions. It's, I talk, it's not about something being in Asia or India or somewhere else. They're Nordstrom employees answering the phone, the product's right there, and we think that's a real point of difference and helps with our customer service. So we'll continue to try to work on that element of the business and how that drives to our full-line stores. The customer's telling us loud and clear that she wants to be able to, whether it's at midnight or the middle of the day, find out about, does that store have that item? How do you take care of it? What's the price? Sizes, what have you, fashion. And so we're really trying to be a more seamless multi-channel retailer. We've got another 12 or 18 months to go. We think it's a real advantage for us. If our competition, for instance, were to say they want to embark on that path, we're about 3 years ahead of them. So we think it's an advantage. Another advantage for us is our credit card, the Nordstrom credit card. You saw the fashion rewards up there. It's amazing. You give someone a $20 coupon, they come in and they spend another $100, so that's a great thing. That's been driving the business. We're one of 3 retailers that still owns its credit operation. Target, ourselves, and Cabela's. If you know what Cabela's is, that's it. Everyone else has sold their credit operation. We have a credit operation not to be bankers, but we want to be working directly with our customers. We don't want a third party doing that. Neiman Marcus, a few years ago, sold their credit operation to an outfit called HSBC. And because of this tighter credit market, HSBC wanted to raise the interest rates and the fees to the Neiman Marcus customers, and Neiman said no. So they came back and said, well, we're going to turn off the credit for 200,000 of your customers. So right now they're in court. So that's the kind of thing that we think we have an advantage, because that's part of our deal. And the reason we have a rack or a credit business or an internet business is to help our full-line stores. The heart and soul of our business is the full-line stores. We have here in Portland, you saw where downtown Portland won the President's Cup last year, and we're just finishing a pretty major remodel there. It'll be done in about 2 months, and they had about a 7% increase last year, even being in construction, so that's encouraging. We have a lot of new stores opening. We've got, the other day we opened in Aventura, Florida, our first store for the year. That was our 102nd store. First day it did over 1,200,000. First 3 days was 2,500,000. It's way ahead of expectations. This Friday, we opened our largest store of the year, 210,000 square feet in Hawaii. That store's been 12 years in the making, and we're very, very excited about it. We used to run the shoe departments for Liberty House all the way back in the 60s. It was a lease department. And about 12 years ago, they tore up our lease because they heard we were looking for a store in Hawaii. So we put together a little shoe store there in a little rack, and some of you maybe have shipped goods that way. I think it's store 48. And so we finally got the chance to get a store there. We've had 4 different deals fall apart. It's going to be a great store. We've had over 2,500 people apply for a job. And this is a community, oh yeah, Hawaii, everyone wants to go to Hawaii. This is in Hawaii, not here. There's only 2% unemployment in Hawaii. It's the lowest unemployment in the country, really isn't unemployment. And what I think that speaks to is all of your efforts and everyone else's efforts to create a reputation why people would want to leave their existing jobs in the islands and maybe come join Nordstrom. So we think we've been able to hire some pretty great people. There's a charity gala fashion show Wednesday night that we throw for every opening, and we raise a couple $100,000 for local charities. That's sold out 3 months ago. It's almost 3,000 people. So all the indication is that will be a great store. It has some unique things. It has a gelato bar, of all things. No store has that. It's got a huge sunglass shop and a great bathing suit shop and all kinds of things. It has a really interesting thing with air conditioning that I found interesting. That's more environmentally friendly. You know, energy is a real premium everywhere, but particularly in Hawaii, the amount of air conditioning, HVAC they run. So in the day, it's when there's the peak load. So there's a system there in this building, and I can't wait to see it. I only saw it when it was being constructed, where in the basement, they literally will run water, and there'll be a chiller system that runs all night and turns it into block ice. And then in the day, the coolant and the air runs through that down in the basement, goes up to the top and runs through the building and cools the building. So we don't use energy in the day when there's the peak load, we use it at night. And so we're trying all kinds of new things, whether it's being environmentally correct or sensitive to that culture or what have you. We had various religious leaders bless the building. It's sited in the right location. They changed the store number because the numbers we were using were unlucky or something, I don't know. We had to have a ceremony when the last girder went in, and we embedded some special sacred coins. So hopefully there's no bad omen or voodoo in the building when we open Friday. Stuff we wouldn't think of, but important to that area. So that store opens then. We're going to open 8 full-line stores this year. That's a big deal. So that's 1, 2, then 6 more. And the 9th store is a relocation in Tacoma. Store 6, we're moving from the old building down the mall to where there was an old Frederick Nelson, then it's been a Mervyn's. We've been redoing it, and then one night we'll move the shoes, everything over, and the next day open up into a brand new building. We have a couple slides, I think, don't we, Jenny, on the profit sharing and 401k that I wanted to go over real quick. The number one thing that I want to get across is if you're not in the 401k, would you please think about it? I don't know of any other investment vehicle that you or I have a chance to be part of that's as good as the 401k. The 401k is something that you put money into and the company matches. And then also we have a profit sharing plan. So how the company does, there's a formula and we share those profits with everyone here. The eligibility is you have to work 1,000 hours in the year and you have to be employed by December 31st. Next slide. So we match dollar for dollar up to 4% of your pay. So I don't think there's a person in here that says, oh, I got a lot of money burning in my pocket, I'll just park it in the 401k. Everyone needs every penny for their rent or their car payment or what have you. But if you can find a way to put a couple % off to the side, I guarantee you 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you'll be really pleased you did. It's a terrific savings vehicle. The profit sharing, again, is based on how we did, and there's a formula, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4, and 5 years plus. Next slide. Okay, so this shows since 1998 how we've been contributing to both 401k and to profit sharing. The bottom, which I guess is kind of teal, and the above is a funny shade of green, breaks it out. The bottom part is the 401k. So for 2007, on my left here, over $36 million went in the matching program for those that were part of 401k. The above, the 15.9 million, was the profit sharing. If you note the year before, in 2006, the profit sharing was 29 million, so we were about half. So what happened? We've had 2 years where we've had some cash checks. And I heard from Jenny, that everyone's going to want to know, where's the cash? Well, I don't have the cash. We didn't do as well, I'm sorry. We were doing pretty good about 6 months into the year, about $100 million ahead of our plan, and we literally gave all of it away the second half of the year. Business started to slow down, and then we amplified the problem because we got a little overbought. And when you get overbought, you got to take markdowns, and markdowns are a killer. And so that hurt our profits. And so that 15.9 million is about 54% of the total payout. So that how it goes. Any other slides, or is there one more I can't remember? One more. Okay, so statements are being mailed today. So the old saying, checks in the mail. And it'll talk about your 401k and your profit sharing. You also can go online at nordlife.com and find your balances as well. Okay? So with that, what questions do you have for me? And I will do my best to try to answer them. I know I'm in a shy group. Yes, sir.
With NPG, we're basically making our own goods. How does that cost of goods compare to another vendor that we get? And how do you decide how much we're going to be in the manufacturing business versus just retail?
It's a great question. So his question was about NPG, which is Nordstrom Product Group, and that's merchandise that we produce. Now, I need to clarify that because we don't own any factories. So we outsource that, but it's our name, and from A to Z, we're part of the design and the quality control and the pricing. So there's a couple things within that. First of all, what percent of our business do you think is NPG or private label? You had to guess. How much? 10%. 10? What else? 50? What else? 20? 12? It's about 12.5%. So 12.5% of what we sell part of MPG. It's about $1.3 billion. It's been that way for a few years. It was years ago as high as 20%. We don't have a set number like, okay, for this year it has to be this amount. Our focus really is find the best merchandise. Brands are really important to our customer. If there's a void, we can't find whatever the item is, branded. Is it something we could do internally better or to fill that void? The challenge is your lead times are longer. So no one's smart enough, your crystal ball. So if you're doing it yourself versus the vendor, You're now having to buy the materials and design it and make it and ship it from China. And so the farther you go out, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, the less smart you get. And then when you buy all that stuff and you buy the wrong stuff, the ship keeps coming and the stuff keeps coming and it's a markdown and you're going to the rack. So we're very sensitive to what our name goes on. It needs to be the best product. Some of our competition uses private label as a way to make money, higher margins. And then they do those funny one-day only coupon madness, manager out of town, open to midnight, friends and family sale. And they do their private label stuff. We don't do that. So our private label is a tighter margin. So you ask about profitability or cost of goods. The margin on profitability on a private label is slightly better than the branded goods. The biggest difference is we tend to take less markdowns on that stuff because it tends to be not as fashion forward, it's a little bit more basic in nature, because if we get real extreme on fashion, that's not our strength. So we allow the buyers to buy accordingly, and if they don't like what they see from MPG, they buy something else. MPG's focus has been and continues to be two major things: design. We've added a lot of great design talent. 2 guys just came from London, matter of fact, that are working on it. And the second thing is lead times. And we've been able to reduce lead times by about 30%. We need to keep kind of trying to bring that down, because the closer we can get to the customer, the better. I hope that answered your question.
Is that where the flow comes into it?
Yeah, well, you had to bring up flow.
I know. Somebody had to do it.
I think a couple years ago I said, we're terrible at flow. We actually did a little bit better not too long on flow, and we're right back in the tank in the bottom of the barrel on flow. So when business got tough and we got overbought, again, it's not the systems, it's not the tools, it's the humans trying to play games with it, and then playing some pretty bad flow games, and you guys are the recipient. Everyone loses on bad flow. Consolidator, the vendor, you folks, the stores, the salespeople, and most importantly, the customer loses. Our business was at its peak when we had great flow, when we have freshness every day, new stuff coming in every day for the customer to see. Yeah, and so we've yanked it back because we got overbought, and now we've got the cutoff games and stuff going on. I believe it's going to be a rocky road this year. I don't think we're going to get out of the woods tomorrow on that. But I think we can get back on track, later in the half of the year, but we got work to do on flow. And I almost feel like I need to apologize to you for the last couple of months of how bad it's been. I'm sorry. Yes?
How come up with costs not being sold out? I mean, how is it still now in the store? People are,
So
is it less?
So your question was, how's it doing? She asked about Fossil. How's it doing now, or what was?
How's it doing? How are they doing now without not being with us?
Okay, so Fasanav is based out of Nice, France, and our company bought it right prior to my assignment, which was fall of 2000, so like summer of 2000. My predecessor bought it, and it was the founder, Albert Gilbert, which is Albert Goldberg, but it always sounds fancier to say Albert Gilbert. Was getting ready to retire, and his kids weren't in the business, and he was getting divorced, and so the thought was we'd had it for 13 years as an exclusive in the U.S. We do a lot of business with it. What if we bought it? Would that be a great point of difference? So we did. Very difficult. We're talking about MPG manufacturing. We're retailers. We're not manufacturers. So all of a sudden, we're thrust into manufacturing globally. We're thrust into design. We're thrust into Europe and France, where it's based, and with 32 boutiques in Europe and wholesale sales to other retailers, sales to boutiques here in the U.S., sales to our stores. Very complicated business, about $200 million sales business. So we were working really, really hard. And $200 million is a lot, but we got a $9 billion business. So some of the things were suffering because of what was going to cost them off. So then there was a thought, what if we sold Europe? Because that didn't make any money. What if we found a partner? What if we found someone that's their business, design and manufacturing, and we stuck to retail? What if we had a partner for the whole thing? Or what if we sold it to someone who could do it better than us? So we had a big process. And we sold it to a group, and their company's name is called M1, and they're out of Lebanon. And they made a lot of money in construction and cell phones. So you probably think, well, what does construction and cell phones have to do with Fasanav? Well, nothing. but they have a lot of money. And their thought was, oh, we'll go into retailing, and what we'll do, our claim to fame is we'll spend a lot on it. We'll hire a lot of fancy people, we'll put a lot of money in, and the theory was they'll put more money into it than we would, and they would be good stewards of the brand. The jury's out. So we've been in a transition, so we're still running it. And so even though they own it, it's our team on it still. Our team lets go the end of next August, so it's coming up August. So the business, it's still the same. It'll be interesting a year, 2 or 3 from now that we have to transition and they have it, how their design is, how their product is, how their sourcing. I don't know.
So all those employees too are basically part of that company.
So the boutiques, not our stores, but the boutiques, which there are 5 in the U.S., all those employees had to make a decision in September and October. Do you want to stay with Nordstrom or you want to go with Fosse & Ave? And most of them went with Fosse & Ave, and now they're Fosse & Ave employees or M1 employees. And that's how it's proceeding. So we paid $167 million for it. We sold it for $210 million. So not a great investment, but we came ahead. But it's, I don't know, jury's out how it's going to work. Yeah, so her question is, are we going to continue to carry it? Yes, we do $150 million in Fosse & Ave, men's and women's. It's our 4th or 5th largest vendor. So we still have the exclusive. It's going to start to change, but it's still a huge business. So I think it's in both parties' interest to try to make it work. So, because you just don't replace that overnight.
Will you ever buy the Seahawks back?
So this question is, will you ever buy the Seahawks back? So my great uncle Lloyd in 73, 74 led an effort to try to buy the Seahawks, or to have a football team expansion for Seattle. He convinced Pete Rozelle, who ran the NFL, that there's a rule, one person has to have 51% ownership, that our family could do that. So our whole family. The team was $16 million, so I think we had to come with 8.1, and we borrowed. And the team made money every year. Once all those crazy salaries, NFL works. Good years. Literally after the first game, we started getting threatening calls to the operator and torn up charge cards. So if we lost the game, which was, when you're an expansion team, you lose a lot. These fans were like, God damn it! And I think they had this vision that, like, my dad's up in the box calling down to Chuck Knox, run the end around. I know, but so we're so thin-skinned, we're trying to sell stuff, right? And people are mad, I'm never shopping there again. You guys are the worst damn team. So my dad's like, literally after the first year, we gotta sell it. And then the next year he convinces another relative. And then the next year another relative. So literally by 1990 or whatever it was, convinced everyone out. The team was sold for $92 million. I think it's worth $900 million now. Paul Allen owns it. But it's really hard. You have to do the stadium deal and all that stuff. So my brother Pete was a small ownership with Howard Schultz and the Sonics recently. They just sold it to this guy Clay Bennett. He's going to move it. It's a disaster. Bottom line is, you don't want to be in the sports business. It's bad. It loses money sometimes. It's unhappy customers and city council and
worse than the flow.
If you win the whole thing, you're great, but that's it. And so the only way you make money in sports teams is the greater fool theory. And the greater fool theory is there's a greater fool that will pay more and take it off your hands. Answer your question, no. Yes, sir.
We normally have employee holidays and Christmas time. Do you think they'll give us like another day during mid-year or something like that?
Another, discount day? So I had in Vancouver this morning, this is my second meeting, so the whole month of March, so I'm a little rusty here, sorry, but it's my second one. But I did Vancouver this morning, and a woman came up to me afterwards, and she says, business is tough, and we got to take care of our employees, and our employees are our best customers. And if we just gave more discounts to the employees, they would spend more, and our business would go up. So she says there's, the holiday event, and there's those MPG days, the 40%. So let's just run those MPG days all the time. I said, we lose money when we do those things. So if you want to stimulate business, that ain't the way to do it. And I said, so that's kind of a benefit, if you will. So if we added more days, what would you like us to cut? She goes, no, I don't want anything cut. I just want more discount days. So that's the dilemma. So to answer your question, I don't think so, but I think you got something up your sleeve. What else?
Can you explain online pickup?
Online pickup. So Jane's asking about that. So we're working on this multi-channel thing. So in my opinion, there are a lot of great multi-channel retailers. I think Williams-Sonoma is pretty good. I think REI, which is based out of Seattle, is pretty good. JCPenney has some elements. So we're trying to work on that. And so again, whether that's where it's available, where can I return it, where can I buy it, and one of the functions that will happen this year is you can go online, oh, okay, that's carried at Vancouver or Washington Square, and you can go drive and pick it up. And Best Buy does that now. A couple others. Have you guys, any of you done that? I think it's a pretty great feature. And so if you want it now, you can go right to the computer. That store has it. It's all ready to go. You can go pick it up. It's going to roll out starting this summer and fall. And each store will be a little different about, you go to customer service, you drive up, or your salesperson meets you, or what have you. But we think that'll be a good service. Anything else? Yes, sir. One more time, I didn't quite hear the question. Deliver?
There was a short venture where Nordstrom, people would be able to order online.
Oh, yeah.
And then they could have it delivered to their house.
Right.
And that sort of solved after a year or so.
Yeah.
Is that something that might show up again?
He's talking about in the 90s. I'll blame this on my cousin Dan. I think it was his wild hair idea. It was a company called Streamline. That wasn't a bad idea. It was about, you know, groceries and delivery every day. And it was this notion that you would have, like in your garage, a refrigerator or a cabinet that was locked, and like you're at work all day and someone would come by and you placed your order and they would load up whatever you wanted. And so beyond the groceries, you could add a company like Nordstrom. So you need a basic white shirt or your socks or your underwear, and it would get replenished automatically. That company folded quick. Those economics didn't work. I do think what's important is how can we ship things to you efficiently? And so we've been guilty of some different shipping charges. California is this, or if you're online that, or if you do this, it's that. So we're working on, can we kind of make it a very clean and standard approach? And the thing that's being bandied about is like if you spend more than $200, free. If you're online, I think it's $8.95 now, maybe it's $7, but it's 2-day air versus the Pony Express now. And the same thing for the store, so it'll be just one, no, in the future for 2-day air, 7. 5 is the other. That's the point, is we've got 3 or 4 different programs right now. Can we go to one that's the same for the whole company, and it's one that we feel good about, and it's competitive with what's out there. So I think we'll have that figured out in a couple months, hopefully. So I think, again, the customer, it's less about, you know, the structure or the process. It just, I want it. How do I get it? How do I get it easy without a lot of effort? Everyone's pretty time pressed. Anything else? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
A lot has changed in the distribution side of the business. Will you talk about what that looks like 5 to 10 years?
From now forward?
Yeah, when will you be able to retire?
Well, you can retire with just if we don't screw it up, number one. Number two,
Don't screw it up.
yeah. That's what my dad says. He walks around, just win, just have an increase. I'm like, all right, I got it. No, distribution centers aren't going away.
That's
Now,
what I want to hear.
I had to close the one at 99. I think there's still a few 99 folks around here, so I'm sorry.
Do that one.
So don't want to go through that again. I think we have the ideal situation with the distribution businesses we have around the country. The only thing that you could debate is Texas. We've tried both $2.99, which is currently serving it, you know, from Dubuque, and we've tried $7.99, which is Gainesville, Florida. I think $2.99 is an 18-hour run, and from $7.99 it's a 15-hour run. So should there be a hub or something in Texas because of that long run? Otherwise, we've got a pretty good network. The other one would be the fulfillment center for direct. which we just doubled the space. If you looked at 2015 in the future, instead of that facility getting bigger, there might be another one in some other state. But this one here in Helena Northwest, no change. I can't imagine it. Now, how we go about doing things might evolve a little bit, and it has, like you've spoken. And I think in some cases, technology's helping some other things. I think our biggest opportunity is flow. I mean, we guys do a number to you. If we had that figured out, we could really produce some good numbers. You're doing, in my opinion, a really great job with the hand you're dealt. So now I think it's on the other side of it, what's coming in and going out. How can we do a better job?
So do you see technology, more technology?
Yeah, I mean, I think
5
what,
or 10 years?
I don't know what it'll be. I don't know what it would be, and I'm probably the last guy to ask on that, but we used to have, we've always had great information or investment at point of sale. We always knew what our sales were at any moment. We were leading edge. But on other points of our systems, we got behind, and we weren't investing in every day. And so when I got the job, we had to spend, I asked Joel Stinson to do this, we spent over $200 million to get this perpetual inventory system going. And then we spent another $100 million on all the registers and point of sale. So the total package was about $300 million. And that created the platform, if you will, a lot of things that we're doing now. I think the key is not to turn the spigot off and then try to go back at it 5 years from now. I think every year are you investing. And so Mike Richardson oversees our IT efforts. We're spending $50 million a year to maintain and enhance our systems. One of the challenges we have in the store, and I can't speak for the DC, is that the systems are pretty sophisticated. It's the humans, people like me, that aren't using them very well. It's not the system's fault. So we got to be careful we don't get over our skis and make it too complicated. How is it really going to help improve productivity or the customer experience or what have you? I think that point of sale, for instance, being able to look up merchandise, be able to do DTCs, you know, direct to customer, that was 8% of our business last year. 8% of total sales were, we didn't have the item, we found it somewhere else, we shipped it, customer's happy, salesperson happy. That's a huge win. So, yes?
How about the green shopping bag that's coming?
The green shopping bag. So there's this whole green movement, the environment, and I don't know, do you have a Whole Foods down here? They have reusable bags, Whole Foods. We're going to have Nordstrom reusable bags, but a lot of customers don't, you know, like, you know, you go to Safeway and bring your bag. I can't imagine coming to Nordstrom with your bag. But there's this bag that you can fold up into a little pouch, it zips up, and it can go in your handbag. And that can be part of a reusable bag. And so it's made in environmentally correct materials and dyes and processes. And so it's going to be sold, I think, for $17.95 just that cost. But it's a really quality, great bag as a deal. But the bags themselves, we just changed them on. You'll see them pretty soon. The paper, the finishes on them, particularly the gift boxes, there was a real high sheen on those gift boxes that made them not as recyclable. We're actually spending more in some cases, but they're more environmentally friendly. We think the customer and our employees, I think, value that. So working on all that stuff, the whole green thing. But it's got to make business sense. So if there's anything, because I'm not down here a lot, that I can help on something, I'm just blake@nordstrom.com. I don't type well, so if you send me an email, you'll get a short answer. You can call me anytime. I'm an extension 4030. You guys have been doing a great job. 08 looks, I don't know. I mean, our crystal ball is a little cloudy. I think it's going to be a tougher year for us, so we got to really hunker down, and we're working hard in the stores, but we'll get through this. Your company's well positioned. We think we have a chance to gain market share. When I look at the history of our company and the single largest gains we had, it was in the Depression, it was during the war when there's rationing, and it was during the late 60s or early 70s when the Boeing bust. And my dad and his group feels like that was one of their proudest moments. I think it was 1970 when they had a 3% gain. There was 18% unemployment in Seattle because Boeing was really in retraction and they were the big employer. And the big joke was there was some billboard up that said, "Would the last person leaving Seattle turn the lights off?" And we had a gain that year. Well, how did we do that? Well, the focus was get on the floor, take care of the customer. And not the fact that 18% of the people didn't have jobs. The focus was 82% of the people had jobs, then let's sell them some shoes and let's sell them some clothes. And that's the kind of year I think we're in right now, and we're going to give it our best effort. If you've got thoughts on how we can improve, love your input. And again, appreciate your hard work, and hopefully we can meet again here soon and see if we beat those goals. So thanks a lot.
Well, that's it. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to come talk to Blake afterwards. But